Hello everyone. How are y'all doing? Today I'm going to show you guys 4 decks that I've got from Primordial Flowers Tarot. I will link her YouTube channel in the description box below. But when I saw this giveaway that she posted on Instagram showing 4 decks for giveaway, and I even though I've vowed to stop buying any decks, when I saw 2 of the decks that she posted, I just jumped in straight. There were 4 decks that she's trying to give away as a set, and even free shipping as well. So when I saw 2 of the decks that were mentioned, which is this Nocturnal Oracle and and the other one, which is the Flora Fauna Oracle. So when I saw this 2 decks, I just immediately jumped in straight. Cause these 2 decks were decks that I've been looking at on Etsy, so I actually put into my favorites these 2 decks. But in the end, I removed them because if I want to keep to my vow of not buying any decks, it would be good to just keep them out of sight. So I have them removed. But when I saw that the very generous Ni, she posts this up on her Instagram, I just jump onto it straight because I just want to have a try at it. And she did indeed send the full set of the 4 decks over to my place, even though the delivery charge must have been very expensive. And when it arrived, I was so touched by her gesture. She even she wrapped it up properly, and all these decks have a very nice scent to it. I need to ask her what scent it is. It brought me some peace and relief during this period as I'm filming this. So I believe many of you have been stuck at home, and so am I. And the thing about me was that when I tried to ask her whether I can donate to her as a gesture of appreciation, she actually declined and asked me to pass this favor on to help somebody, charities, or to help any tarot readers in the community. So actually I did donate to a local Alzheimer's charity as a gesture of thanks. And enough said, I would like to do not really a run through, but more like to show you my thoughts about the decks. And I mentioned 4 decks, so I will start with the 2 animal oracle decks because I work with them more. Then I will show you the other 2 as well. So I come from a tarot background, so oracles are actually a bit more difficult for me to work with. Out of my collection, I only have 1 oracle deck, not including all this. So that deck was the Animal Spirits Oracle from Kim Krantz, and I find that the kind of oracle decks I gravitate towards are more animalistic, or more about the wildlife, and do not depict wildlife in a very I guess the term should be airy-fairy, not without any crowns on the animal's head, or sparkles coming out from their bodies. So when I saw these two oracles on Etsy, I fell in love with them immediately because they adhere to the nature that I am familiar with. I watch a lot of nature documentaries, and so this if I were to work with animal decks in any way, I would like them to be depicted in the same way as well. So, well, you will see first. See the decks that I'm going to show you to you now. So first is Nocturnal Oracle. So if you all know of the Anima Mundi tarot deck, this is from the same creator as well. So on Etsy, I believe you can purchase the guidebook, but this pre-loved deck doesn't come with a guidebook, but I'm okay with that because many of the animals depicted here are animals that I have seen in nature documentaries or plant life, and if there are anything that I'm not really sure about, I can do a Wikipedia wiki these animals and get an idea of their characteristics. I find this the way I would like to work with my oracle decks. Okay, so here are some of the pictures, and you can see that it's pretty matte, and the backgrounds are all dark except for a few select ones such as this dust. Now you will see what I mean by adhering to the animals I've seen in animal documentaries. So they are pretty simple looking, but as compared to Kim Kranz, where you can see every stroke of her artwork, this is a little bit more simplistic, but it's still effective. I tried working with this deck and I find that it gives it's pretty intuitive. It feels very soft and like the moon, as depicted here on the deck cover and also in the card back. So I have so far done about less than 10 readings with it, but every time I work with it, I find that you just look at it and you kind of get an idea how what the deck's trying to tell you. And a deck interview with this deck also seemed to imply that it's a very a very tidal kind of deck. Yeah, and the best thing is that for me is that there's golden gilding on it, and I guess this will be my first deck which has a gilding on it. So the second deck, which is the Flora, Fauna Oracle, and this is by the same creator who does the Hardy Tarot. I also like that deck, but I have since I've put a stop to my deck buying, so that I won't be buying that anymore. I'm not sure if there's I can't remember if there's a detailed guidebook that goes with it, but with this deck, it comes with 3 cards that kind of give a kind of a keyword guide to reading this deck. And while the Nocturnal Oracle is kind of like soft, this deck feels a bit more masculine, probably because of the more saturated colors that it's painted with. And when I first saw this deck on Etsy, I kind of like how the animals such as the, well, let me flip through some first. So yeah, so I kind of like how some of the animals like the bear, the stag were depicted, because you can feel the shagginess of the fur and their the majestic aura from the animals. For example, this fox, as you can see, it's also not very, airy fairy kind, even though it's more, I guess, I believe one of the description for it is more psychedelic. I don't know if this is counted as psychedelic, but it does feel a bit more grounded, but it's still abstract at the same time. So just now you will see some more specialized plants that are being depicted in this deck, as well as the forces of nature such as darkness and light. Yeah, this is a bit abstract to me as well. I like shades with eyes in it, and what I say is more masculine, but I also feel that it's a bit harder to work with this than the Nocturnal Oracle. I have not done much reading with it. I can only say I've done one or two reading with it, and I would have to find more time to try to get used to the plants that it picks here. So for example, bear, the animals itself, I have a better idea since I like to watch animal documentaries. But mushroom is still okay, but it's more specialized, like the mandrake and these kind of plants where I do not have such a good idea of how it works. But I also like the depiction, because you can see like the humans here, the male and female human forms here, and I also know that it's used in witchcraft and how it's very related to the human body. I need more time to get used to this, but so far I still like this deck. Yep. Okay, so let me put this away while I'll show you the other decks. So the next deck that comes out is a tarot deck, and it is a bit too big to fit into the screen, but I guess many of you will know this deck because it's quite well known, the OSHO Zen. And this comes with a guidebook, as well, which is in a very good condition. Out of the 4 decks that has reached me, I feel that the condition for this deck is the best, but I'm really not harping on the quality, because many of my own decks show the same wear and tear when it has been used a bit too much, which are what all decks are supposed to be like, right? So yep, you can. For the OSHO Zen, I'm not really I haven't used this deck, but I have seen so many walkthroughs of it, and my fellow local readers, I've seen one of them use it, and from the first time I saw it, I am very attracted to it, because it feels it's kind of surreal at the same time as being very close to a religion close to my heart, which is Buddhism. Because I grew up with this. So yep, but it's not really the usual tarot decks when you have the very clearly delineated major 4 suits of the minor arcana and the major. In fact, it feels more oracle-ish also. So many people use the term tarot oracle, so I guess this is more of that kind of feel. And you can see the card backs are very beautiful. And yep, I do feel a certain kind of power when I emanating from this deck. When I first saw it in, when I hold it in my hands when it arrived. But because I have already decided not to build up on my tarot deck collection, this deck will be going to a friend of mine who is looking for decks that are suitable for her. And I've also asked, she has also said that she will pass this favor on to others by donation as well, which I guess me will be happy to hear of. It's not that I do not like this deck, I like this deck, but I just have enough tarot decks. Yeah. And the final one will be just a simple playing card. So I believe this, I have never seen this deck before, so and I don't use poker cards. I will put the name of the deck in your description box as well. I believe this is called the Wendy Go Full Bloom playing cards. So I don't use playing cards, and I was prepared to pass this on to somebody who uses this kind of deck as well. But when I saw the flowers and the very beautiful butterflies and colors and the backing, I thought to myself that I'll just keep it. Maybe it will be a good chance for me to learn some card games that I can play with my friends. So yeah, there are a lot of peony, pansies, and a lot of butterfly imagery, and I like this a lot. So yep, these are a short walkthrough of the decks that I've gotten from Primordial Flowers Tarot. I guess I'm really grateful and appreciative of her generosity and her sweetness. In fact, when I told my friends, my reader friends, about her gesture, they were also very touched. And I believe touch and appreciative are very weak words to describe how I feel. I have also learned from this giveaway is to be okay to accept people's generosity as well, because when I saw this kind of a giveaway, I actually hesitated before I asked her whether it's okay that I have it, because it's a bit difficult to ask for something that you have seen for a very long time and you like it a lot. So yeah, thank you, Ni.